Evening, gang. Here we are, the 1st of March. Yes, indeed, Monday, the 1st of March, 2021. It's the Ides of March tonight, gang. The Ides of March are among us. Yes, I can't remember what they are. Isn't something really bad supposed to happen on the 1st of March? Oh, hang on a minute. I'm doing a show. That's the bad thing. Yes, very good evening to gang. Welcome to our little chat show this evening. Coming to you from Bracknell in Berkshire. How are you today? You all right? Already text coming in there. The text number, if you want to send me a message, please feel free to do so. Use the text number 07451 287 337. All right, 07451 287 337. We'll open the phone lines fairly quickly tonight. Let's just get on with it, shall we, for a change, instead of sitting here rabbiting about everything. Hello to Mike in Brighton, who says, can't wait for tonight's show. Me too. I couldn't wait here. I was tempted to come up here at 5 o'clock, and then I thought there won't be anyone here. And I've just looked at my numbers. There's still no one here, but never mind. Hello to Mike, who says, hi, Chris. Can't wait for tonight's show. All ready with my coffee and Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts. I think I had that. Is that those things you put in a toaster? We have a toaster story tonight. Someone's cooking something in a toaster, and I don't think you should do it like that. That's later on, okay? Evening to Mike. Love the list of subjects during lockdown. And we'll come to this in a moment or two. All right, so Mike, I'll hold on to that. Good evening to Rachel Wheatland. Evening, Rachel. Hello to Diane Jebb. And to Fran Green as well, sending in text this evening. 07451 287 337 is the text number. There is a chat box. If you're in the chat box, that's only there for you to talk to each other. I don't go into the chat box at all. Okay, my darlings. If you want to contact me, just send us a text there. 07451 259 287 337. Okay, right up there, top. What's it to you? Left? Right, is that the right hand corner? Top right hand corner is the text number, or you can send an email. No one really sends emails, so that's cool. Evening to Jason Hughes. Hello to the lovely Shania on the Isle of Wight, and Mark Bowles is there. Evening, Mark. Someone asked me something today about you, Mark. Hush my mouth sealed. My mouth must remain sealed. Hello to Mark Bowles. Hope you're well. Cheer me up, feeling down. I'm here to cheer you up, darling. Do you know how I could cheer you up? I've got this... Doesn't matter, darling. There we are. And good evening to George Bonds. Thank you very much. All well and good tonight, George. Now, first of all tonight, did you take up any new or you rediscovered some sort of old hobby during the lockdown? Anything at all. Phone lines are open immediately to talk about hobbies. Hobbies, perhaps it's just something you do anyway. Hobbies, what hobbies do you do? Did you rediscover something that you haven't done for ages? I did. Music, basically. Music and radio, absolutely, yeah. I mean, the radio thing... When the chat show went a little bit wrong last November, I stopped, as you well know. And I looked for something else to do. And the radio thing, I thought, well, I've done that now. And I did one show and I thought, God, I miss this. And I started doing it again. So that's one for me. Also, during lockdown, I discovered walking. What did you discover? Ring me and tell me about it. Phone line's open. 020 8144 3477 is the phone number, okay? 020 8144 3477. What hobby do you do? Have you rediscovered it or have you just carried on doing it? Doesn't matter, really. Walking is something I discovered. I never used to go walking. Not really. A little bit near the caravan. That's about all. Certainly didn't really do it around here at all. Then, of course... Back in last March, when all the swimming pools closed, I quickly realised that I needed to do something to keep you moving. I think it's really important once you go over a certain age, which it's earlier than 50, once you go over 30, shall we say 30, you need some sort of exercise. And don't tell me, oh, well, I'm in a wheelchair, I can't do it. Yes, you damn well can. You can move those wheels forward and go out somewhere. Can't you? If you get any sort of disability, unless you've got absolutely no arms or legs, which some people haven't, and you can't do anything at all, fair enough. But you must be able to do something. Bit difficult if you're one of those people that suffer from a bad back. My heart goes out to you. I know what a bad back is like. I know, don't worry about that, my loves. What about you? Discovered anything at all? If I tell you about mine, then you can tell me about yours, yeah? Or ring in whenever you're ready. 020 8144 3477. So the walking I discovered. And I started going over the forest. And this led on to something else, as you well know. And that is litter picking. I started litter picking. As I was walking around enjoying the beauty of just the trees and the grass and the niceness, both here and up in Lincolnshire along by the river, I just got more and more depressed seeing the rubbish. So I started doing something about it, and it became a hobby. Talking to some other litter pickers that I walked past last week, they told me something that I thought, yeah, you're absolutely right. It becomes addictive. Like anything else. Maybe one or two of you play computer games. You know how addictive that is. These damn things are so addictive, aren't they? I have re-deleted Facebook from this. Every 5 minutes. Remember I took it off before. I've taken it off again today. Kept picking a damn thing. Oh, let's just have a quick look, see if there's any... Why would we do that? We never used to do that. Of what importance could it possibly be a message on Facebook? If someone was that important, they would ring, wouldn't they? You know? So I've just taken that off there again. So addictive. So is litter picking. It's addictive. And when you're walking around, pick up that. Oh, get that. And there might be one in prickly bushes. Okay? Difficult to get to. Do I leave it? No, I can't. Can't leave it. If it's shining and it's on the floor in the forest, it shouldn't be. The tiniest little scrap. You know the bits where you tear off the corner of a packet of Maltesers and you discard the corner onto the floor. Nope, shouldn't be there. That gets picked up. Every single thing picked up. I'm a little bit upset at the moment because there is a tin can. There is a tin can down a bit of a dip. What do you call that? Like a ravine. And it's really deep. And it's very steep. And I don't know how I'm going to get it. It's the only item so far that I haven't been able to get. I've got stuff out of ponds. Okay, maybe not with my litter picker. I find a long branch and pull it over and out it comes, dear. Very important. I've got to get every single thing. I can stand there in the forest and look around and I can see, if I can see a slight glint somewhere, I'm over there. It's my new hobby. Walking and litter picking. And I love it. I love it. The other thing I do is, if you can call it a hobby, TV watching. TV watching. I wouldn't say I'm not one of these people who can sit there in front of the telly for hours on end. I know some people do, and if you do, that's fine. It's up to you. Up to you. But I certainly, absolutely watch more television than I used to. 2 recommendations for you, actually, both on the Netflix there. I finished watching Behind Her Eyes. Highly recommended. I think there's about 8 programmes altogether. Amazing ending. Amazing ending. I won't tell you, okay? Amazing ending. So that's Behind Her Eyes. Another thing I've started watching now is White House Farm. I think there's only 6 episodes of that. Murders in a House Detectives. Okay? That's what that one's about. I think it's in Welsh Wales. Beautiful part of the world, isn't it, Wales? I mean, we all joke about Wales and sheep and all that business. But what a stunning place that is. Snowdonia and all that, isn't it, eh? Beautiful. I always remember going to a funeral down there. A dear old DJ friend of mine, who was known as DJ Dolly. Used to DJ mainly at a place called the Royal Oak in Hammersmith. It's not there anymore. And I went in there, I was 21 years old, and I wanted to DJ. I was already doing mobile DJs. I wanted to DJ on the gay scene. And he says, oh, you'll get there. Just keep trying. And I did. And I'd done it. I'd done it for 30 odd years. I had a whale of a time. Absolutely whale of a time. And he was in I think it was Cleneffley, something with a double L. was a long word anyway, and I had to go down through Cardiff along this motorway. Then you came off and went down these little lanes and all whatever. We come to the funeral place, and then on the way home went through this like little village, and it was like a grey stone cottages. Ever so pretty. Ever so pretty. It would have been lovely had I not got the 3 points on the motorway for going 85 mile an hour in a Land Rover. God knows how that vehicle managed to do that. He was a lovely bloke, he was. Anyway, so White House Farm, as I say, Welsh Wales, okay, 6 episodes of that. And tonight, literally, just before I started the show tonight, around about 7:10, I thought I've got half hour to kill here. Everything was ready. I'm always ready. Oh, I never leave anything to the last minute. Everything's usually ready and in place by about 7:15. So I've got half hour to kill. I had some dinner. I've had my dinner tonight before I started the show, which is unusual for me. Because this morning, I had a big breakfast. I had a Slimmer's World breakfast. If you've done the Slimmer's World, you'll know what that is. Baked beans, mushrooms, 3 Linds McCartney sausages, and some scrambled eggs. Well, of course, come lunchtime, don't want anything. Seriously. It wasn't a case of I won't have that to lose weight. I just didn't want it. And so I went out on a long walk to go and get some keys. I've had keys cut today. Now, that's where you come in, Mark Bowles. The question this morning was asked, have I had keys cut for Mark Bowles? Obviously, I cannot reveal the person who asked me that question, Fran Green. I will not reveal you the name of the person that assumed I was getting keys cut for you, Mark Bowles, to let yourself in and out as you want. The funny thing is, I think I would. I think I'd trust you with my life. It's a weird thing, isn't it? You know, you kind of... I've never even met him, and you trust someone. Perhaps that's not a good thing. Not necessarily with you, but with anyone else. You see some of these old dears, don't you? Start befriending, like, young boys in, I don't know, Ghana or somewhere like that, and they empty their bank accounts. You do feel sorry for them, though. These old dears, they're like in their 80s and 90s, aren't they? And they befriend someone on the internet and start sending money. Oh, it's incredibly sad, that. Anyway, I digress. Where were we? Yes, Superstore. That's what I watched just before I came on the show today. Superstore. Anyone seen that? It's hilarious. You want to laugh? What a great thing. Put that on in the morning. Don't put the news on anymore. I've had enough of it. Bleeding Charlie and Dan and Naga and Piers, Susanna, boring me to tears. Bland and boring. Put on an episode of Superstore. The episodes are only about 25 minutes long, and it's about this American superstore shop and the staff and the customers in there. I have seen one episode. I'm howling. I am absolutely howling. And according to the thing, there's 5 series of it. I'm on episode 1, series 1. Okay, so write that one down for your entertainment, Superstore. And that'll make you laugh, okay? So they're my hobbies. New hobbies. Walking, litter picking, watching the telly. What are yours? 0208 144 3477. Where's he gone now? Where's your message gone there? Oh, there it is. Mike in Brighton says, during the lockdown, I started mixing music again. DJ type thing, you know. Yeah, pushing the buttons so that the beats mash up. He's actually put a link. I think you'll find it on my Facebook wall. Facebook.com/Chris Ridden UK. I think there's a thing from Mike Callum there. Using a very old photo, if you don't mind me saying so. Mike, how old is that photo, for Christ's sake, dear? It's about 40 years old, that photo, isn't it, that you've used of yourself? And it's not a dating app, dear, Facebook. Some people use it like that. Oh, get loads of offers, dear. Loads of offers. I'm just too busy because I'm sitting here talking to you. That's why. Mike in Brighton says he started mixing again. And he gave up 2 things. Can anyone guess? Clean comments only, okay? Can anyone guess what Mike gave up for Lent is that, or for lockdown? I'm not sure. He said, instead of litter picking, you almost said pitter-licking. Pit-licking. Oh, some people do that. They lick other people's armpits. Oh, God. Reminds me of being in turn meals, dear, at trade. Oh, like that. Good evening to Adrian Richardson. Evening, Adrian. All right. Jeff Burley. Hello, Jeff and Linda. They're up north there, aren't you, Jeff? Hello, Jeff. He says, hi, Chris, hope you're well. Rediscovered model trains in lockdown. Wow, Jeff. Now you've got me interested. Are you on the Hornby... Hornby send out information almost every couple of days of new things that they've got. It's very expensive hobby, model railways. To buy it like an engine, you could be looking at £200 plus. You can get cheaper ones, yeah, but I would say the average price of a Hornby locomotive has got to be about £180, £200. And they're so well made. You've seen mine, haven't you, Jeff? I've got two here. This was my best ever Christmas present. It's a Princess Victoria. They don't make them anymore, but you can get this particular model on eBay. It's a Princess Victoria. Look at that. Eh? I always have that sitting there. I got that for my 16th birthday party, Christmas present. I was 16. Took that cellophane wrapper off. Oh, the smell, Jeff. The smell, I can't tell you. That thing going around and round in circle. Yellow coaches. Unfortunately, I failed to keep them properly, and I put a lot of the stuff in the shed, and it's just totally deteriorated, including the yellow coaches that went with it. Lovely little thing it was. And on this bit, I don't know if it still works. Oh yeah, just listen. You can just hear that. There's a little piece of sandpaper there, which if it goes around, it's supposed to make it sound like it's got or what do you call it? You know, like a like that. I got one of these as well, Flying Scotsman. There you go. All right, Jeff. And they literally sit here. I do have an Intercity 125 set that, funnily enough, my best mate bought me years and years ago, and it's in box. I got it down the other week. Just a couple of weeks ago, laid it out on there, and the train really has trouble moving. I would imagine it needs some sort of maintenance on it, you know. I'm afraid I'm one of those people who just get the thing out of the box and plays with it. When it comes to the maintenance, I'm not really that interested. My brother-in-law's sister's husband built a steam train from a kit, but he modified it as well, put a different boiler and stuff to heat it up. I think he uses gas, like them gas, like lighter type things. I think he uses that instead of the instructions which said you have to put a little candle or something underneath. And he told us it never really gets hot enough for it to move the thing along, so he changed it to gas. And he's got this track. It's I think it's called O gauge. I think it's O gauge or G gauge, garden gauge. He's got this track in the garden, in the centre of the garden, and he puts it on and there it moves along at its own steam. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Good on you, Jeff. And Jeff is building a layout in the loft. Wow. You've got to do some pictures of that, mate. I can't wait to see pictures of that, Jeff. Fantastic. Is it Hornby? I think one of the other makes, is it Fleishman or something like that? Fleishman? Can't remember now. Hornby nearly went under years ago, didn't they? Yeah, they just didn't make any money. All these younger people, I mean, it's just what they like, and they just want to sit staring at a screen or something. They don't want to actually hold something like a model. Remember building the model planes? I did that. Airfix, gluing them all together, and then trying to get that glue off your fingers. Christ. I mean, we were all as high as kites, weren't we? Sniffing this damn glue stuff all the time. It was awful. Awful. Thank you, Jeff. Clarissa. Oh, there we are. Jeff says it looks well. Our postman is complaining about the number of parcels from eBay. I have a British Rail 125 Intercity and a Virgin 125. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Are you getting all stuff in the post, are you? People are always surprised at how dear track is. You know, a little piece of track. Or I don't know what that is now. It's about a foot. No, it's not quite a foot long, is it? A piece of track. I think it's about 6 inches long, isn't it? A piece of track. How much is one of those now? You tend to buy packets of them, don't you? Hornby and Bachman. Yeah, Hornby and Bachman. I think there was another one called Fleischmann or something like that. Is it Fleisch? Yeah, there it is. Fleischmann. 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 And they're German, so you know they'll be good. They're good at the old what do you call them? Machines, aren't they? The Germans, like the BMWs and that. I've just found a Hornby train set. And it's John Lewis, so that'll be the full price, probably that one. £159.99, which, to be honest, isn't bad. I've seen some very, very expensive train sets out there. And, yeah, very expensive indeed. Let's take a call from Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Chris.
All right, how are you tonight, mate?
I'm doing all right.
What's your hobby then? You got hobbies for me or something else?
Well, obviously, what you've been on about.
Good.
The model railways.
Go on.
And I've got a lot of them. I mean, admittedly, I haven't really done much with them lately. But there was that Coca-Cola train set.
Right, tell us about it, because I mean, I've seen it, but other people won't know about it.
Yeah, it's just a very small, more or less basic train set, which only comprises one steam locomotive, an LWB wagon. That means long wheelbase.
Right.
And a double container wagon. Is it
the Christmas one, or is it?
Oh, Christmas Coca-Cola. Yes, this year they've brought out a summer Coca-Cola one as well.
Oh right, yeah.
But the downer with that is that instead of it being the two long container wagons, it's actually three smalls.
Right.
Which I don't know. I never really liked them three small ones. Really, I don't know. It's the two long ones seem to have more impact.
So how much was the one that you've recently bought? Was it around Christmas, wasn't it?
The Coca-Cola one. Well, yeah. Well, it actually went for. I think it was meant to retail for 80. And then I think it might have been discounted by a tenner anyway. I had certain Amazon gift cards to use up. Okay. So I think I only ended up paying £20 or £30 for it.
And what did you get in the box?
You get that, like I say, the steam locomotive, the LWB wagon and the container wagon, and the over the track and the controller and some weird red thing that I've never touched. I think it might be what you might call a railer. It's something like, I think it's supposed to where you're supposed to. It's like a bit like a shoehorn or something like that. Where it's like I don't know, what do you call one of them things? Triangular things. So I think you're supposed to put each bit of train thing on it and then lay it over the track and then let the train drop down actually onto the track. So it's actually in line.
Oh, so it makes it easier to put on the I've never had a problem. Yeah. It's probably that's probably more for children, that thing, is it?
Yeah, no, I can put the train on the track easily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my great nephew Harry had a little train set, only a cheap one, and you have to show them, because what they tend to do, the little people, is they get the train on there and it's not on, okay? And then when you say, no, it's not on properly, rather than what you would do, lift it off and carefully, they then start pushing down on it. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't know what to do. You have to tell them. So I wonder if that little thing is something to do with making could be.
It might be a good aid, I suppose, for children, yes.
Yeah.
But when I think back on the history of model railways, how it goes right back to, it probably goes back, I could have been about age 3 or 4.
Well, they used to be clockwork before they were electric, weren't they? And you can go back even further, and even for the smaller children, and we'd be talking like 2 or 3 years old, you've got those wooden sets, haven't you? And they don't
yes,
self-propel.
I had one of them as well.
You literally push them around on wooden set. Now, Audi do the most wonderful wooden toys at Christmas, and cheap. Not expensive, very well made, and they're for children. You know, there's no bits sticking out. They're all smoothed off and whatever they've done to them to make them safe for children. They have the most wonderful wooden stuff, and one of which is a wooden train set that they have come out at Christmas. Great.
Yeah. I think they did. They in recent times they brought out a battery version of that.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
battery.
I think they knew a lot of children were going, "Oh, why can't it move?" And then I thought, "Let's get a battery version."
Well, when they get older, they would think that, but when they're little, they're not bothered. You know, they just want to push this thing. But it's funny watching the way they push it along as well. You know, they got putting all their weight on the train while they're pushing along, and then wonder why it won't move very quickly.
Yes. But
Isn't
really,
it
going
funny?
back though, I think it all started when we went to, I suppose. Well, what are John and Maureen to you? Is it distant cousin? Is it cousin?
It's my cousin.
Yeah, it was their house.
Is that your mum? Hello, mum.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm at mum's tonight.
Hello, mum. All right.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, darling.
I'm all right.
You sound so much better than he does on the phone, my love.
Oh.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I know the words to say, lady. Oh dear. Anyway, so you're going to get the little one next, are you? The little Coca-Cola one. Is that what you want?
Oh, I don't know. Because mind you, what I would really like, but I'm not sure how good they are. Somebody has brought out model underground trains.
Oh, have they now?
They,
Oh, is that
they
right?
do exist, but only in kit form.
Okay.
And you will pay about £100 per carriage.
Right.
I don't think you. I think you only actually get the body shell with it and the underframe. I think all the wheels are separate, the motors are separate, everything's separate, and you know what? You don't even get. Right, you'd have to make this yourself. You don't even get the interiors. You know, if you buy a Hornby carriage.
Oh, I tell you what. Oh my God, blimey! Good God, how much? Right, there is on eBay a Bachmann, which Jeff was just saying, a Bachmann, Bachmann, stock 4-car London Underground set.
Oh, is that the S stock one?
Yes, S stock. £899. I don't think it's it. Has it got track in it? Is it a complete set? No, it doesn't look like it.
I know the one you're on about. I don't think. Yeah, I think that's just a train pack.
£899. Jeez, that's got to be a collector's item. Surely that must. I reckon that's discontinued. Wow, what a lot of money. But but if it's your thing and that's only your thing, that's probably comparable to someone going out and buying. I mean, I've never been fishing. But I would imagine it's not, if you want to do it properly, with all the best kit, it's not a particularly cheap sport. I remember my brother-in-law, he took up golf. Horrendously expensive golf. And all the bits that you have to buy. So looking at it like that, it's probably not that much, I suppose, It's like me doing this. I'm talking to you on I didn't pay that for a £180 camera, which I managed to get for I think it was 110 because I go on the Amazon returns thing, So when you return something to Amazon, they will sell that on again, but they can't sell it at the brand new price. So sometimes I buy stuff like that to save a lot of money.
Yes.
So if that's your thing, then so be it,
Yeah, then you would, I suppose. But as for these underground models, you don't even get interiors in them.
Oh, do you not? Oh.
No, so you do, because, I know the bloke who does it, I think his name's John Polly.
Right.
He thinks that, but by the time you've done the model up and you're just running it around the track, the interiors will mean nothing. But no, that's not the point. When you buy a model railway carriage, you expect to see, the inside.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
As well
some
as
sort of
it
little
was.
seats and
So,
perhaps poles.
I did actually have it.
Yeah. I'm wondering, that set I just told you about there, I don't suppose the doors, do they? Do they, like...
Well, that's funny, because I think someone at school used to go on about that, if only they had model under the doors open. But I have seen on YouTube, there is a model of an O-gauge, 1938
An O-gauge?
stock.
Oh, hang on a minute.
O-gauge.
Yeah, carry on, yep.
1938 stock red train, of course, the other one, where he has actually managed to put motors in it that where the doors do actually open.
Wow.
The only sad thing about it, though, is that being what it is, the motors are actually all visible. It looks an untidy mess inside.
Oh, right, okay. That's a shame. Yeah, that's a shame. But maybe there was nowhere else to put them. See?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's funny you should mention that London Underground there. That would take us into a story here, if you don't mind me going on that. But I just want to say thank you much to... oh, my God, blimey. Why is that music still playing? Hang on, I forgot to stop the music earlier. It's still playing away on another fate. Is that gone now? Yeah, I just want to thank Gary Ross. Thank you very much, Gary. Gary Ross has just sent in a £6 super chat. Thank you very much, Gary. Very generous, dear. Is the clock still working? Because if it's not, unlucky. So they're only guaranteed, those clocks, for 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes has passed, that's it. Anyway, thanks very much for your super chat tip there, Gary. That's much appreciated. There's a story here which kind of leads into it, talking about the London Underground. See what you think about there. Disgusting things you've seen people do on public transport. In the metro, there are calls... first of all, it goes on about... oh, hang on a minute. That's the wrong bleeding story there. Where is it now? Oh, I've got the wrong story there. Christ, I mean, I had enough trouble this morning on the radio show. I kept doing wrong things this morning. Here it is. Disgusting bloke uses filthy train seat. Right? What for? Any idea what for?
Uses it.
It's got a picture. This is the stomach-churning moment. A disgusting bloke uses a filthy train seat as a dining table while sitting cross-legged on the floor. So imagine you're on a train, right? You got your dinner. You put your dinner on the seat and then sit on the floor facing the seat and eating. Dirty bastard.
Yeah.
Isn't that awful? It says
what was the actual food? Do you know what the food was?
Well, he was on a train. This is in having a takeaway meal while travelling on a service in Perth. Would that be Wales? Or is there a Perth in Wales? I don't know if that's... no,
it's Scotland.
No, it's Australia. It's Australia.
Oh, Perth, Australia.
The passenger, dressed in jeans and a dark T-shirt, was spotted using his train seat as a table and a plate as he casually continues scrolling on his phone. Right, so there's no plate underneath it. He used that as a plate and a table.
Jeez,
it's just awful.
Yeah.
When he finished, he can choose... Someone replied to the story. When he's finished, he can choose any flavoured chewy from under the seat. It's just disgusting. What is he eating? It looks like... No, he's got a spoon. He's got a spoon. Looks like something out of a plastic, like a Chinese takeaway or something like that. Because the Australians, they like the Chinese food. I don't know a lot of you like Chinese food. It doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid, Chinese food. Last March, a woman was also seen weeing on a train, and then wiping her soaked hand on the seat. I mean, disgusting people, aren't they? Aren't they vile? I mean, wouldn't you be frightened of catching something off the seat or ingesting some sort of nastiness?
Yeah. Was that in London as well?
No, that was in... That doesn't say where that one was. Doesn't matter. It's pretty irrelevant where it was on the train, to be honest. Isn't that awful?
Yeah.
God, I love going on trains, don't you? Do you love it?
Well, I used to. I don't really like it as much as I used to do.
Right.
I think, although the strange thing is the services have improved.
They have, you say?
Yeah, well, here at Elm Park, we only used, during off-peak times, we only used to get the Upminster to Richmond service, which was every 10 minutes.
Right.
But what they did back in 1996 was to extend the Ealing Broadway service that used to terminate at Barking to Upminster as well. So we now get double the service here.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and the Hammersmith and City line was extended from Whitechapel to...
Yeah, that's the old underground, isn't it?
Whitechapel to Barking for alternate trains.
Yeah.
And now it's got it runs through the Barking all day, every day.
Wow. So you're well served there. What about the overground train? You know what I miss on the overground trains? The slamming of the doors. Used to love doing that.
Well,
Great big heavy doors, and you used to have to slam them to close them, didn't you? That
well,
noise.
yeah, that was on what we used to call LTS rail.
Was it? Oh, they were fantastic, those old
Fenchurch
trains.
Street line.
Yeah, and there were little compartments. Do you remember? I mean, it wasn't perhaps not so good for like ladies on their own, with chance of being raped and all that business. With those little compartments, weren't they? You could have 10 people in one of those compartments, but sometimes you could get in one of those compartments on your. I remember being on in one of those compartments on my own, and it was like your own little train.
Yes,
Weren't it?
yeah, I remember. I think vaguely I did go somewhere on a south of the river train,
Right.
probably around your way where you grew up. and-
Maybe so, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
used to get the district line, Putney Bridge to Fulham Broadway for my school. Yeah,
That was
for my
probably back
school
in the
trip.
days of COCP and R stock, I suppose.
Oh, I don't know. There was a
Well, that
guard
was when
opening.
they had this train that were straight down, but they flared at the bottom.
Oh, I don't know. There was a bloke. Guard was opening and closing the doors at the end carriage. I think he was in the end
Yes.
one anyway. I used to stand next to him, wanting to push the buttons.
Yeah. Strange thing was, I actually never knew trains had guards.
Oh, didn't you?
I grew up always think because here on the district line,
Yeah.
there's a word for it. It's called OPO, one person operation. You see.
Okay.
That's the jargon. And on the district line, they went OPO in 1985.
Right.
So I would only be about 5 years old at the time. So I always thought that that all trains were like that. Were were OPO. It wasn't until we got one day on the central line. I think we ended up bringing up the rear.
Yeah.
And there was this bloke at the guard, and I thought, what's all this bloody open? Oh, was open, two to open, one to close. Where's
We'll
the
be
signal?
shouting down the train. Mind the doors. Oh, I loved it. Loved
Yes.
it. And then at
Yeah.
some stations, you had a recording of someone saying it. A very, very good voice he had, this bloke who was doing the recording of the Mind the Gap and Mind the Doors business. That was all
Well,
very good.
there's been a lot of controversy about that lately.
Oh, what's wrong with that then?
Well, because that bloke, the actual proper, Mind the Gap, him, there's a Thames News report on YouTube where it's a bloke, his name's Peter Lodge.
Right.
The story goes there was supposed to be some actor who I believe is called Oswald Lawrence.
Right.
Was meant to have done it. But then there was a row that he demanded a actor's fee every time they played Mind the Gap.
Oh,
and
you
there's
can't
no
be
way
real.
he could have
Is that
that.
right? Did he really?
Yeah. And so Peter Lodge ended up more or less, let's say, doing an impression of Oswald Lawrence.
I'd just be glad of
And-
my voice being played out.
Yeah. Well, the thing is now that this Oswald Lawrence's wife, she likes to apparently go down on the station at Embankment to listen to Mind the Gap, where that Embankment's the only one now that's got it. you
Is
see.
it? Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think she seemed to be under the illusion that it is actually him, even though it's really Peter Lodge doing an impression of him.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think no one's had the heart to tell her by the looks of things.
Well, never
But on
mind. Bless her
YouTube, there's
heart,
all these
darling.
reports about it, and people go, "Oh, Oswald Lawrence did it." No, but it's actually Peter Lodge. No one really seems to know the real truth.
Well, you've taught every time you come on here, you teach us something. Thank you very much, Daniel Woodhouse. We've found out who does it. It's Peter Lodge who does the voice, or did the voice at some point.
Yeah.
You have a nice evening, Daniel.
Oh, well, Chris, is there just one quick thing I can say?
Get on with it, dear. You've had
All right.
so long now,
I
dear.
know.
You're taking a bleeding
Just,
piss.
Last night.
Let me just
You got
check.
that email. did you?
17
That was-
bloody minutes of boredom we've had to go through. Get on with it.
That email from last night. I was doing both the bridge and bingo at the same time.
Yes, very rude.
No, I could play
It's
both.
rude. It's rude. Shania doesn't do the rosary and the bingo. When she starts the rosary, she stops playing the bingo now.
Well,
It's
I
blasphemous.
I tried to get Victor Less to push the bridge 2 hours earlier, but he weren't having it.
Shania used to do the bingo and the rosary at the same time, and then one day, it was on a beautiful summer's night, there she was trying to do the bingo, and then after the first decade of the rosary, there was a thunderbolt and a lightning, and it landed just near her house, and she knew that she shouldn't be doing bingo and rosary at the same time, dear. Have a nice night, Daniel. Bye.
All right then, Chris.
Cheerio, thanks for the call.
Okay.
Here we are, Daniel. And he does do excellent calls, doesn't he, young Daniel Woodhouse, eh? Let's do some of your text messages there, gang. Clarissa, hello, Clarissa, my darling. All right, love. She says, I've rediscovered my alcohol tolerance. I love it, darling. Steve Murray. Get the tin can using a string and a magnet. That's the bit of rubbish that I can't... What a good idea. Now, I don't think I've got a magnet. Have I got... Where would I find a magnet? Or maybe an old loudspeaker. I haven't got any old loudspeakers. Where would I find a magnet somewhere? That's a really good idea. Unless it's caught under one of the logs. I should have to do another investigation. What's the word? Reconnaissance mission. I'm going to have to do another reconnaissance mission on that one. Stephen, thank you. Excellent. Have you ever watched Afterlife on Netflix? If no, I highly recommend it. Thank you very much. There's something else to watch there, gang. Afterlife, as recommended by the delightful Steve Murray. All right, Steve. Good evening to Maureen. Good evening to Maureen this evening. George says, what about my archery, that hobby? George says archery and fishing. Again, archery, I would imagine, could be an expensive thing. George, you recently bought another bow and arrow, didn't you? How much was that then? Was that an expensive item? I would imagine a decent quality. I know nothing about archery, but probably. Thanks so much. I don't know who you are. Someone with the phone number finishing 22. Do you want to text us back your name, either your full name or first name and where you are? Then we can refer to you by name. You only ever have to do that once, and then you're in the system. So whenever you text, I can refer to you by name rather than sort of double two. Yeah, Two Little Ducks 22 sends this in. Hi Chris, White House Farm was actually set in Essex and not Welsh Wales. So that's my mistake there. Am I right in thinking there's someone with a Welsh accent on there, though? Is someone Welsh? Yes, there is. The detective, not the big lad, the other one. The one who's in charge of it. He's Welsh, isn't he? That's why I thought it was in Welsh. Thanks very much. Good evening to Sherry. Hello to Sherry. John and I are in bed listening to your show. We're back in the caravan. Well, if you're listening to this programme, it won't take you long to go off to sleep. This programme is recommended by the NHS to send people to sleep. That's absolutely true, that is. Thank you very much. Mike in Brighton says that the passenger eating on the train brings a new meaning to the term fast food. It's disgusting, isn't it? I mean, it's rank. It's rank. And also Mike says that the photo of him that I mentioned earlier, I said it looked like it was 30 years old. He said it was October 2 years ago. Please, do me a favour. Do me a favour. Very good evening to Amelia Phillips. Good evening, Amelia. George says his bow cost him £300. You see, so there, it's not cheap to do these things. But if it's your thing, you know, if that's the only thing that you do, your only hobby, why not? Why not? You know. I mean, I buy cheap stuff. Clothes, generally. I don't know. Anything to do with the house tends to be a bit cheap, really, to be honest. But when it comes to this, no. Don't buy nothing. There's nothing cheap in this place. Only me. I'm very, very cheap, all right? Thanks very much. 07451287337 for your text. You can call in if you want to. 020-8144-3477. I want to tell you about my key now. Mark Bowles, are you still there, darling? You might have just popped on for a quick hello and then goes again sometimes. Gary Ross emails in the show. He says, your clock is working fine like a Swiss watch. Oh, like a Swiss watch. Glad to hear it, sir. A Swiss watch. Nice, nice. And where are we now? Clarissa, Ghost Wars is another good series. Oh, is that? Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's kind of not appealing to me already. Sometimes the supernatural. I don't want to give it away, you see. No, I can't really. If I tell you that now, then it's going to spoil it for someone. No, I can't tell you. Thank you very much for that. And Mike again. Talking to train sets, when I was a kid, Santa bought me a Lima train set. Yeah, Lima. I remember those. Jeff, I remember those. Lima, Lima. I loved it, and I can always remember the smell from the transformer with two naked wires to connect to the track. That's right. It was only 12 volts, wasn't it? Enough to electrocute a cat, though, because mine stepped on it. She jumped up in the air. Penny the cat. Happy days. I was the envy of my friends. I should think you were with something like that. I love my train set anyway. Anyway, that's the train set. Anyway, the keys. Got to tell you. So Saturday night this week was about 8 o'clock. It was 8 o'clock. Decides to go out for a walk, don't I? So I picked up my keys. I don't know about you. I'm in and out. I can't leave the house first time. I've forgotten something. Phone. We can't go anywhere without a phone, can we? Don't dare leave the house without a phone. Phone. Oh, so I've got the phone. Oh, it's the earbuds. Oh, I haven't got tissues. Oh, God, I haven't got tissues. All that business. Anyway, eventually I get out the door. And I pull the door closed. Put up the handle like that. Put the key in. Snap. Snap. The key snapped in the door. Oh, you must be joking. Now, I actually have 3 ways you can get into my house. I have 3 doors. 3 doors, right? There's a back door. There's a door in the middle. And there's a door round on the side. So, side door, middle door, back door. Okay? Now, all of my doors, I have a secondary door system. I have gates. And I had the gates put in 21 years ago. Reason being, I was always out at night. Always. Not just once or twice now and again. Every night I was out. So a bit of extra security. Okay? So I close and the gates are on the inside except for the one on the side, which is the one I use to come in and out. So the front door in the middle and the back door, right, they got gates across them. So, for example, the middle front door, which is like the main door, opens inwards, yeah? So, if you close the door, once you've pulled that gate across and locked it from the inside, you can't get in. Even if you open that door from the outside, you can't push the door open because the gate's in the way. And you can't open the gate because the lock is at the other end. So you can't do it. The back door is similar. Now, the back door opens outwards, right? So you could open it outwards. And if you had the key to open the gates, you could probably do that. But I'm surrounded by spiky bushes there. You'd have a blooming trouble getting over that fence and getting to that back door. Now, so had the door locked in the closed, locked position, I wouldn't have been able to get into the house. I was very lucky because the key snapped before it turned. So the door wasn't locked. How lucky was that? So I come out of that door and then I've got a gate. Now the gate has got 2 locks, one at the top and one at the bottom. So I am able to go on my walk and lock that gate. You can't get in with that gate locked anyway, right? But the blooming key's broken. I thought, oh, you must be joking. It was 8 o'clock at night. Of course, it's pitch black. And I thought, well, I can't see anything now. I can't do anything about it now. I'll just go for my walk. So off I went. And I thought, I'll go via my mate's house. And I went via my mate's house and told him of my predicament. And he said, have you tried anything yet? I said, no, I'm just going to leave it till tomorrow morning. And he said, try some glue. He said, put a little bit. I said, well, I don't dare try glue because you know my DIY. You know my DIY. What will happen is that I'll put the glue on, I'll put that there, and it will stick into the lock, and then that'll be it. Not repairable after that. That's what would happen to me. I just know it. It's no use you telling me, why didn't you have a go? You must be joking. But I did take the glue. He said, no, look, there's a little brush on this one. Just put the tiniest bit on, then wipe it before you touch it on the key, and then hopefully it'll stick and you'll be able to pull it out. Okay. Took the glue with me. Came back home. Went to bed. Upset with myself that this key had broken. But, you know, it's old. It I suppose these things wear out, don't they? It's never happened to me before. Has it happened to you before? A key getting broken in a lock? What a blooming nightmare. Got up in the morning, done bits and pieces. Did a bit of litter picking. This is on... So, because when I say to you the door... It was lucky the door got... The key broke with the door open. Had that have locked it, I wouldn't have been able to get back in. I would have had to call out a locksmith at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. Down here in the south, you'd be looking at 300 quid. Easy. Oh, it's the weekend. Oh, it's night. Oh, it's after 5 o'clock, and it's the weekend, and it's a Saturday night, and you want us now? Yes, please. That'd be £300 minimum charge. That's what it would cost down here. Wouldn't cost that up in Lincolnshire. You'd probably find someone who'd be able to do it, and they'd happily take 50 quid cash off you, you know. Anyway, so I was very, very lucky that it failed before I turned the key, before the actual key turned. Anyway, so I'm in, went to sleep, got up in the morning, done a bit of litter picking, and I did the church thing. I thought, right, I'll give this a go. Now, I've watched a couple of YouTube videos. How do you do this? UVP, double glazed door. One of them suggested a pair of scissors. Now scissors. Why now scissors? Because they're small and very sharp, right? And you might be able to wear the keys like that, like literally put them in the side and try and pull it out like that and just keep doing it until it comes. I tried that, didn't work. I then came upstairs and I thought, well, it looks like there's just a tiny little bit protruding, just a tiny bit. Not enough for a pair of pliers, but I thought I got some tweezers upstairs. So I come up here and got the tweezers. I just couldn't grab it, would not grab it. Then I looked at the glue and I thought, oh, I don't know about that. And I thought, no, I'm not going to try the glue because you can glue the hole closed then, and then that's the end of that, mate. You can't fix it. And I thought, you're going to have to bite the bullet and pay for this. I wasn't going to do it Sunday. Obviously, on a Sunday, you're going to get whacked again, aren't you? Oh, it's the weekend. Oh, it's a Sunday afternoon and I'm just about to have my lunch. I'll be called out. Oh, you're going to have to pay extra for that. Be all like that, wouldn't it? No, I was quite happy to leave it till Monday, but I thought I'll get the ball rolling. And I thought, oh, Christ, it's going to cost me a couple of £100 now, which I haven't got, you know. And I came inside to put a little message on the We Love Bracknell website on the Facebook page. Because that's where a lot of people request things, or anyone know a plasterer. And usually some bloke, I can do it for you. Do you want me to come round? That's where I found the repair people for my computer. Done a fantastic job. All repaired. Repaired within 4 hours he had that computer, and it was back in this house within 6 hours. Dropped it off at 12 in the afternoon, got it back here at 5:30. Was that 5 hours? Amazing. Amazing. And didn't rip me off either. Very pleased with the service. I thought I'd try that. Anyway, I've come back in the house and for some reason, just the same, probably because I always do this, closed the door behind me and pushed the handle up. I thought, oh Christ, I've just pushed the handle up. Hope I haven't locked it. Anyway, I pulled the handle back down and opened it. Oh, thank God it's... And then I looked. The key... I kid you not, has jumped out of the lock. Not fully, it hadn't fallen on the floor, but it had come out a good inch. And I'm like, my mouth just dropped open. How has that happened? I thought you're joking. And before it decided to push itself back in the lock, I grabbed it and pulled it out again. It's downstairs. I should have pulled it up to show you. You see, going back to that glue thing, I meant to tell you, right, I was going to try it, but I thought I'll just match up and see how well it matches up before I put the glue on. It doesn't match up anymore because, of course, you twisted it. So when you twisted it and it snapped, it kind of, the two, it just doesn't match up now because it's been twisted. So that wouldn't have worked anyway. But this key, I came back in, pushed the handle up. Oh, I haven't locked it, have I? Opened the door again. Oh, thank God of that. Wow, the key's jumped out of the lock. Happy days. So I'll probably save myself about a minimum of 200 quid, I would say. Because that's what it is down here, down south. I know those of you up in Yorkshire, like Jeff, I know you wouldn't pay anywhere near that up there because they're not greedy up north. They're not greedy up there. They are down here, ever so greedy people. Thank God for that. So this morning I did go on the Bracknell thing. I was going to go down to Timpson's. We've got a Timpson's in Bracknell. Get them down there. I just take it down there as part of my exercise. I'll walk into town and walk back out again. And I just happened to look on the We Love Bracknell website, and blow me down, there's someone on there asking about key cutting. Right? And I looked down this list. Can anyone tell me where you go and cut keys? And I'm just about to put down with his Timpson's in Bracknell. And someone said Timpson's. I looked down the list of replies that they'd had. Oh, Timpson's in Bracknell is closed. I thought, oh, well, thank God I found that out before I walked there. Well, where'd you get them cut? The range. They have a machine. They have a machine in the range, apparently. So I went on my walk after my radio show this morning. Got into town. Went into the range. You don't do it yourself. You go to customer services. Could you do me a key, please? How many do you want? Oh, I said, I don't know, 3. She said, there, that'd be £10. Oh, is that all? I'm sure I've paid more at Timpson's than that. £10 for 3 keys. That's not bad, is it? Eh? And it says Yale on the key. £10 for 3 keys. I thought, well, that's blooming good value. It's not often I say that. In fact, it's too cheap. Anyway, so I gave this girl the keys and she went off to this machine, which was just across from customer service and then she had the machine open. I don't know what she was doing. She says, oh, can you come back in 15 minutes? It's going to be a little while. There's a little problem with the machine. Oh, okay, then I'll do that. So I went off into town, post some letters, a little bit of a walk around there, and came back and they were done. Walked back here, again via my mate's house, because I was tired. I was very tired today. And come back here and thought, right, because he's got a spare key, you see. Tried it in the door and it's stiff, but it works. It opens and closes the door. So happy days. And the reason I mentioned Mark Bowles is because Fran Green thought I needed to go and get keys cut so that you were going to have your own one. I mean, do you want one? I could put my little address on there. Just turn up when you want one and let yourself into. Happy days, eh? With the keys. So good news there, eh? Good evening to Rumble Bumble. Evening, Rumble Bumble. Who says, hats without all the protective gear. Can't wait till Boris drops that flag and lets us go riding again. We're riding along on the crest of a wave and the sun is in the sky. All our eyes on the distant horizon. Look out for passers-by. Do you know that one? Rumble says, good evening, Chris. My enduro riding. Enduro, is that what it's called? I don't know what that is. Enduro riding is quite an expensive hobby, especially as I keep chucking my bike into ditches and trees. £4,500 to buy it and it. Christ. Wow, £4,500. I know how expensive some of these bikes are, believe me. I've never had an expensive bike. My bike I've got at the moment was about 250 quid. It's coming up to 20 years old now, and it still works all right. I think I've changed the tyres on it, that sort of thing. Works well. But £4,500 on a bike, I've seen bikes 10 grand and more. 10 grand, especially the new electric ones. There's a shop in Crowthorne, which isn't too bad. That's where they fix my computer, like a proper bike shop, not like Halfords, no, proper bike. All they do is bikes. And they've got like an electric bike, like a separate shop really next to it. And there's bikes in there, 10 grand. Now, I believe they're called turbo bikes. They looked apart. I tell you what, they look so solidly built. I don't know if they're made out of metal or that, that plasticky stuff that's quite light to carry there. Adrian Richardson, I had a train set my dad bought me. It was second hand, but very good condition. But the engines, if you put some oil in the top of the smokestack, and they used to smoke. Dublo Hornby had about 10 engines until someone nicked it. Oh, what, your train set? Oh, Adrian. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Sorry to hear that. Oh, was that a long time ago that you had it nicked? Would you be tempted to sort of buy another set? Who cares if you're an adult? And it doesn't matter, darling. You get yourself a train set if you want one. Andy, good evening to you. Hello to Andy. He says, hello, Chris, good to see you. I've just finished a show on Netflix called Ginny and Georgina. Yes, I've saved that to my list. List. I really enjoyed it a lot and hope there's a second season. Thank you, Andy. Curvy Petal is double too. Hello, Curvy Petal. I'll add you to my little thing there. And Clarissa says, my first train set was just a track that was a circle, and I had to wind up with train with a key to make it work. Yeah, I was just saying that. We had the wind-up trains as well, didn't they? Reminds me of that thing. You know that what was that children's programme with the wind-up Jack in the Box? Was it Camwick Green? That's it. Wind that up and turn it around. Got a call from George. Good evening, George.
Good evening, Chris.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, I come to call you about my archery. Yeah, how much it was.
Yes, £800. You said.
Yeah.
Did someone buy that for you, or did you save it up yourself, or a bit of both?
Bit of both.
Did you? But
Yeah.
you know that's your only hobby, is it, or what?
I'm fishing.
Oh, fishing. Is that an expensive thing to do?
Depends.
Okay. How much was your fishing reel and all that stuff? Because it's not just one item you buy, is it? It's loads of bits.
No. See, you can buy fishing stuff at the 99p shop store.
Right.
But if you want really good stuff, nearly £3,000.
Wow. Yeah. How much was your what's that called? Rod and the twisting thing. What do you call that? A winder? I don't know.
Twister thing.
What do you call it?
A reel?
A reel. Okay, a reel.
Yeah.
Reel.
A reel.
Your rod and reel. Does that come as one, or is that in two bits?
You can buy it together.
Right.
Or you can do it in bits.
Okay. And how much was that? Do you remember?
Not really, no.
No. Okay.
What else? I like trains as well.
Right.
I've got my own train set.
Here we go. So fishing rod and reel. Okay. Amazon, £35. Oh, it doesn't sound excessive to me. Oh, there's another one here. Oh my God, blimey! Angling Direct. Yeah, I'll get this one, George. Angling Direct. Right, wait for it. Browning Exosphere 0G F1 plus set 17 metres. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
So the stick is like the rod 17 metres? Is that how long they are? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, how much do you think that is? Shall I read a bit for you? It says, the choice for experienced professional level competition anglers who demands the best, made with the highest quality Japanese carbon available with internal reinforcing on key sections, a true 16-metre plus pole ready to fish when combined with ergonomic square pole protector, ultralight, ultra stiff, and it goes on. How much?
Lily Brown. Lily £100.
£100? You reckon £100 for that?
Yeah.
£6,855.43. I kid you not. That's how much that is. Jeez. Is it? I think it's just. What do you get for this? I think it's just the pole. Jesus, and a little cover. I can't see a reel there. It's just a pole. Wow. 6,800. Do you know the gear I could have in here for that? One pole. Blimey, you've got to be a real professional. Don't suppose you'll ever have one of those, will you, eh?
Depends, really.
Maybe you'll win the lottery, George.
because that poll, what you just said,
Yeah.
the expensive, the lighter they
Yeah.
are.
Ah, right. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit like bikes, really. The lighter they are,
Yeah.
those made of this carbon. What is it? Carbon dioxide? Oh, is it carbon material? Like this black stuff
Yeah.
they use, don't they? Light as a feather. Very, very expensive.
Carbon fibre.
What is it called?
Carbon fibre.
Carbon fibre. Is that what it is? Very, very
Yeah.
expensive. Some of those. Good. All right, George. Thanks for calling in.
Yes.
Cheerio now.
Cheerio.
Bye, George.
Bye.
There we are, George calling in there about his fishing. Gosh, what an expensive thing that is. Mike in Brighton says, you sound like Ivor the engine. Woo, woo. Oh, it's Ollie K from Reach on Air. Hello, Ollie. Hello, Ollie. Ollie says, earlier you were talking about enduro riding. It's where you ride down like trails. With rocks and jumps and that sort of stuff. Ollie K, your Daily Show listener. Shouldn't you be doing some revising or something like that? His mum told him off, Ollie K. He's 13. He listens to my show in the morning and Mrs. K tells him off because he's not doing his schoolwork. I get that, Ollie. Why would you want to do schoolwork while I'm on the radio? It's a good job I'm just on for an hour, isn't it? Eh? I'd like to do 2 hours. I'd like to do a 2-hour music and chat show. But unfortunately, that time isn't there. I wouldn't want to go later than 10, though. I'd have to do 8 till 10, but that's not there at the moment. You never know. Things happen, don't they? Thank you, Ollie. Nice to have you with us this evening. All right. For the first time, I think. Welcome along, Ollie. Stephen Petty says, good evening, Chris. I like a nice rod. I expect you to, Stephen. What about one that's £6,855, mate? Cool. I know I said, if it's your hobby, then fair enough, but that's over the top, isn't it? Really over the top there. Let me just check the emails for you. 02081443477 if you want to call in on the phone this morning. Alrighty, now what else have we got? So we told you about the key. We'll be going on holiday this year. Anyone going away? I think we asked this the other day. Whether or not if you could go anywhere, where would you go? But this time, slightly different question. Are you going on holiday this year? Perhaps you've booked something already. Or are you intending to go? And if so, where? Where? Are you kind of hoping that you can get on a plane again? I've said many times on this programme, you don't need to go on a plane to go on a holiday. Seriously, you don't. You get yourself in a car and go to anywhere in this beautiful country of ours. Scotland, beautiful. Wales, beautiful. We sit here and have a little bit of a joke sometimes. I'm just amazed at how people don't get jokes anymore. I'll let you into a secret. This morning, I was on a Facebook and someone put a little picture up. His picture was up there. I'm not even going to tell you what it's about. And I made what I thought was a funny comment. Oh my God. The abuse I got. It was unbelievable. People just didn't get it. And I'm like, how can you not get that? And it did affect me for a little while. It affected me for a little while. And I was talking to my mate about it on the phone, and he said, Chris, it's a generational thing. People just don't laugh at the stuff that you used to laugh at. Now, I don't mind telling you, it wasn't in any way phobic or racist or anything like that. It was just that I thought, oh, that's a little bit funny, that'd give them a laugh. No, couldn't be further from the truth. Jeez, I was attacked left, right and centre. And I did something that I rarely do, and I took the comment off. And the person who put the original picture up, I'll give them their fair due. Once I'd taken that comment off, this person then removed all the negative comments towards me, which is fair enough. Fair enough. But are you finding that? Do you find that? Those of you that are sort of 50 and above, something maybe older than that, maybe 55 and above, stuff that you used to laugh at. Have you kind of made a comment before and then had abuse thrown at you because they just didn't get it. You see, I watch some of these new comedians on the telly. I don't get them. Don't get it. What do you think? Anyway, going back to the holiday thing, will you be going away? There's some wonderful places. We may not always have the weather here. I think our summers have got pretty good recently. We seem to have very hot summers now, don't we? We do have a few weeks of really hot. And when you're in a caravan, my God, that's baking. I'm just about to tell you to go on holiday in a caravan. Doesn't have to be a caravan. There's plenty of caravan parks all over the place. Right? Watch out for August, though. My God, are they expensive in August? I've seen caravans being let out for £1,000 in August. I mean, I'm sorry, a caravan. You got Butlins. You got Pontins. Pontins haven't got a particularly good name. I've seen comments on the Facebook and on the internet about Pontins. I can only share with you the great holidays I had with my sister and my mother and father when we went to Pontins holidays. They were fantastic. Can't comment now because I haven't been, but judging from what other people say, they've kind of let it go a little bit. There's Butlins. Butlins have chalets. I think they have caravans as well. Haven Holidays, I think they're all caravans. And they're fine. Caravans are great. But they will get very hot in the summer in a caravan. I must warn you, okay? You will get hot. You won't be able to get in the caravan and get out the heat like you can get in a house. You could hire a cottage somewhere. Don't even have to be as far as Wales or Scotland. Lake District. Nope, still too far. Cotswolds. Anywhere. An hour away. You jump in the car, you travel for an hour, and you're there. No mucking around at airports. None of that business. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go on holiday? What about a city holiday? Eh? Go and see Manchester. Ever been to Manchester? Clarissa's in Manchester. She'll show you around for 20 quid. Wouldn't you? Anywhere. Bristol? London? It's all in London, isn't it? If we can travel around soon, where do you want to go? Or where will you go? Ollie K. He says, I just got my bike frame back from getting spray painted. Cost £60. It doesn't sound too bad to me, £60 for a spray job on your bike there. But I sprayed a few other bits. It looks very good now and can't wait to get back on the trails from Ollie. Ollie, do you want to send us a picture of your bike in? I can't show it immediately, unfortunately, because of the way this works, yeah? But send me a picture of your bike, just your bike on its own, and I want to see what colour you've done it. I'd be interested to see that. Ask your dad before if you can send us an email. Just a picture of the bike. You don't have to be on it or anything, all right? And we'll have a little look at that. I'll show it on Wednesday if you send that through. All right, Ollie? Clarissa? Clarissa is booked for Great Yarmouth at the end of July. Oh, you like it there. Now, do I remember going with my nephew and wife and his family? Did we go to Great Yarmouth? I think we did. Great Yarmouth, is there some shops where there's a Sports Direct, what was the place with the furniture and the clothes? The Gap do furniture. The Gap do furniture? That was there. There was a shop there doing furniture and clothes, and here was Sports Direct. And within the car park is a McDonald's. Is that Great Yarmouth? Have I got the right place? I think we've been there. So she's going to Great Yarmouth. I need to get on a plane to go and enjoy yourself. Mick Davenport, evening Mick. Mick's going to Dawlish in May and Golden Sands Mablethorpe in September. I've been to the Mablethorpes. It's all right there. I tell you what, the promenade, the beach, that's all done up. It's all quite new. It's nice. The town is a bit ratty. It's a bit neglected, to be honest. Have you been there before, Mick? When you sort of the town is quite a long straight thing, and there's a lot of there's nothing wrong with cheap shops, but there's a lot of cheap shops there, fish and chip shops, of course, to buy bits and pieces. And I think there's one of those. There's like a long shop in there, long narrow shop in there, And it's got all sorts of stuff in there. It goes right down. It's very narrow. Yeah. I think you like Mablethorpe. Car park's a bit strange, really. Will you be going by car? It's almost like it's an illegal car park. You kind of go in this place, this bloke comes out and sells you a ticket, from his pocket. We did wonder if the car was still going to be there at the end of it. And then don't leave it too late, because I think when we got back after our little day out at Mablethorpe, that's me, Gary and his wife, and the 3 children, Olivia and Evie and Harry. I think Michelle, which is Stacey's mum, I think either it was her or Cheryl there as well. Anyway, we had a lovely time. Nice ice creams on the front, not small ones either. Oh, proper ice creams like what you get at Skegness. Proper no McDonald's ice creams, proper ice creams, dear, from an ice cream shop. Lovely. I had 2. Fat git. Oh yes, please. We do like an ice cream. But the car park there, if you get back late, it will look like it's locked. But have a look around and you will find an exit. And actually, also right at the front of the car park is a pub where we had something to eat. The food was all right in there on another occasion, Nice food in there. Very reasonable sized portions and not expensive. It's like a sort of 3-star pub. Perfect. You'll have a nice time there, mate. And Dawlish, I mean, it's ages since I went down there. Years. I think it was 14 the last time I went to Dawlish. Well, I only been once. 14, I always remember that. Going for walks at night. Mum and Dad used to take us for walks at night, along these quiet country lanes. Weren't so many cars then. It was so much better years ago. I really think it was. Mike in Brighton says, in your speaking of Facebook abuse, when I put a picture of my beautiful mush on an attachment, I get abuse from a guy called Chris Reardon. In your Facebook story, don't let Karens get to you about your witty comments. Well, it was a witty comment. It was. Would you like to know the comment? Who wants to know the comment that I made? I won't tell you on whose wall it was, but it was a BBC person. I think that's probably what made it worse, because they're all a bit, no sense of humour there, aren't they? Oh, wow, that's really offensive. It was all basically offensive. Oh, Will, really offensive, that? Oh, please. Why can't you see the funny side of it? Would you like to know? That's the question. Adrian Richardson, I would like to visit Scotland to see different places, but they're not very friendly to English people, which puts me off. Is that right? When's the last time I went? Gosh, years ago. No, we went to Glasgow. I took my younger nephew, Jimmy, and my sister on a plane, because they'd never been on a plane. So I thought I'll take him on a plane, and my sister, and they came down here, and we went from Luton, I think, and it was a day trip. It was basically just to give them the experience of going on a plane. So we got a British Airways plane to and from Glasgow. Spent a little bit of time in Glasgow, came back again. On the way up there, my nephew was terrified. He wanted to get off the plane. But the steward came down. Very nice man. Very, very nice. Very, very professional. Is there a problem here? So it's my nephew. He's really scared. Down he crouched down. Talked to my nephew like an adult. You've got nothing to worry about at all. Don't you worry. Everything is going to be fine. He was brilliant, this British Airways steward. Really good. And eventually, plane started moving, and the steward went, my nephew, bless him heart, he'd hate me telling you this. He's 23 now. He was 15 at the time. He closed the window. It was daytime, morning this was. He closed the window and hid underneath my sister's arm, bless his heart. But we got there, got off. Eventually he opened the window a bit and he said, look at the clouds, they're like cotton wool. I said, yeah, they are. And of course, going from Luton to Glasgow, you're only in the air 45 minutes. That's all it is. Very quick. Down at the other end. On the way back, he was fine. We just spent a little bit of time in there. Went round the shops and came back again. That was it. Lovely. Lovely day. And the Scottish people, Glasgow, well, it was just like being in London, to be honest. In the shopping centre. I didn't really have time to walk around and look at stuff, just in the shopping centre and back again. It was the experience of the plane I wanted to give them. But Adrian says they're not friendly to English people. He visited once and my dad got told to F off back to London. And my dad ended up having somewhat massive argument with the idiot. He's not one for not standing down. No, I'm sure he isn't. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Probably one of old Sturgeon's lot, aren't they? Oh, Christ, do me a favour. That's all kicking off, isn't it? The Scottish Parliament. They're tearing each other apart. That's how good they are. Dear me, awful. Ollie K says that all I have to do on his bike is ride 3 miles down to the beach and I'm on holiday. Unpack my paddleboard and off I go. He's got a paddleboard as well. Blimey. I saw a video of that. Someone on a paddleboard on the news, possibly yesterday or the day before, and they're paddling on a paddleboard, oddly, around the UK, right around. It didn't look to me like he was too far off from the shore. But that's okay. It makes no difference, does it? It doesn't have to be like right out in the sea. It was quite close to the shore and he's paddling right around the country. There you go. There's a challenge for you. Try and paddle around the country. Let your mum and dad know first, though, won't you? Take a mobile phone in case you get into trouble. Mick's been going to... for years, I'll drive out of Mablethorpe. Love Fantasy Island. Now, I haven't been there, Fantasy Island. I gather there's quite a few caravans there, but people have problems there with the caravan site. A lot of these I'm very lucky to be on the caravan site I'm on. It's a small, family-run site. No real problems there. Big sites, bits of problems. They're just money-grabbing gits, all of them. Some of these big park owners. As John Parrish will tell you. Well, actually, he's probably drifted off to sleep now if you've been listening to this rubbish. Thank you. George might be going to Skegness. You been to Skegness before, George? It's all right there. Fun fair and all that. The fun fair is not really for me. I don't really like those sort of things. But I did go there on my own at night a little while ago, back in October. And I park at one end and I do a great big circuit of walking round. I love it. And you kind of go into this, I call it the lads' car park. Blooming dangerous place that is. They just keep tearing around with their little Vauxhall Novas, bless them. And the girlfriends, and they all meet up and smoke that nasty stuff. Oof, the smell, not nice. Horrible stuff. I walk past that. I'd park in that car park under a light because there's people in there, you see. I mean, if there's like 10 lads' cars in there, nothing's going to happen, is it? You know, and I doubt very much that all 10 of them are thieves. So I'll park there and I'll walk up the steps and then it's pitch black. You see, it depends where the sea is. It might be crashing against the wall. It might be right out. And I walk right along there to the end till the path goes down into the sand. And I come across the sand and then back along the other way. Past. It's a lovely walk, actually, middle of the night. Fran would love to know what the thing is. Mike says, spill the beans on the comment. You got hung, drawn and quartered for. Good evening to Sparky. Hello, Paul. I did get my show last night on, not a problem. An hour late because of Windows 10 made an app crash. Oh dear. The updates do go crazy sometimes, don't they? George Bond says I go to a caravan place called Sycamore Farm. It's a fishing place. Yes, that's the other thing with caravans. You can find caravan sites particular to something, you know? Like fishing. There's one in Tattershall, which is very close to my caravan site, but that's a big commercial operation. And they got all sorts of stuff there, water sports with the skis on the water, jet skis and all that sort of thing. And I think there's a climbing area as well there for people. You can find caravan sites, particularly for fishing, as you well know there. Sherry's still listening. Excellent. John's waiting for Steve Allen. Steve's not well. I don't know. It was cystitis, wasn't it? He must be quite bad because Steve Allen is LBC's early morning person, 4 till 6, I think he does, or 4 till 6:30. He hasn't been on for over a week, and now he does not go sick. He will drag himself in there, so he must be really ill to be off at the moment, isn't he? Amelia might be going to Cornwall. She likes cycling, swimming and fishing there. Evening to Alan Ross. Evening, Alan. Just joined you, forgot you were on. I assume you're talking holidays. We were. And Alan says, I'm not going away this year, but we live very close to the gorgeous Northumberland coast and countryside, so we just have days out, which is just as good, to be honest. And cheaper. And cheaper, isn't it? Eh? I actually don't feel the need to go on holiday. I really don't. From here, I walk over the forest and I love it in there. So peaceful. And when I'm at the caravan, well, that's like a holiday in itself. You know, when I was working on a Monday night, I'd finish work and go up to the caravan. It was like going on holiday every single week. It's fantastic. And I'll be going up there hopefully at some time in April. Fingers crossed. I'm going to tell you the comment now. So, one of my BBC friends, and they weren't happy about it either, I've got to tell you. So there's a photo. Someone posted a photo of the wall of Reading Prison. Now, I've got to be honest, I didn't even know there was a prison there, but there is apparently. There's a very big high wall. Someone, somehow, has managed to put a painting on there of someone climbing down the wall. Fantastic. It looks really good. And this person put, what do you think of this? So I put underneath, there was a few comments. Oh, lovely picture. Da, da, da. I thought I'd make them laugh. That's what I like to do, try and make people laugh. Unfortunately, they just didn't see the funny side of it. And I put under there, you be careful of yourself, person's name, okay? When you're coming down there, you be really careful when you're climbing down there. And then I put, and here it is, if it was Gemma Collins, there'd be no wall left. That's all I put. Oh, it's a bit of a funny click post. Oh, Christ. You would have thought the world was about to end. They didn't see the funny side of it. And neither did the person who posted the picture. Anyway, I let it go. It was comment after comment, and I thought, oh, you obviously don't like me. Block, block, block. I thought, I can't be dealing with you, really. And some horrible comments towards me. They just didn't see the funny side of it. And anyway, this went on for some time, and I thought, do you know what? And it's something I wouldn't normally do. I don't think I've done it before, actually. I thought, this is more trouble than it's worth, and I took the comment down. I thought, delete it. Just delete it. After speaking to my mate, he said, you know what? Damage limitation here. He said, they obviously didn't get it. He said, I think it, and I said this to you before, it's a generational thing. And when I say generation, I don't mean over 50s and under 20s. I mean over 50s and under 45s. Even they don't get it. The millennials, dear, as well. They just didn't get it. Didn't find it funny. So I took it down. And I checked a little while after that. And the person who originally posted it then removed all the negative comments towards me, which I thought was fair. Very fair thing to do. But I don't know, and you just... Sometimes you wonder, should you just shut up and say nothing at all? And if that was the case, we wouldn't have a show, would we? Really? It's the second time this week, actually. There was something else on there. There was another thing on a Facebook group there, which involved the words LGBT. That's the whole gay thing. Except it's not gay anymore. It's LGBT. And you see, in my mind, in my older mind, that LGBT, you just split people up into little groups. Whereas when I was DJing, certainly in the 90s, 80s, 70s, going back further than that, even before me, the word gay just encompassed everyone. It was a bit the other way. Yeah? And then someone came out with an LGB, and then they added a T, and then something else, and then a plus, and then a Q, and then an I. And it goes on. So it's to include everyone. But it doesn't. In my mind, it doesn't include everyone. You just split them up. And if it does include everyone, okay, LGBTQI, I think it is at the moment, plus. If it does include everyone, where is B for black? Because it means lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, I can't remember the others. If that's the case, Where is B for black? Where is O for old? Where is C for Chinese? Where is A for Asian? They're not there, so how does it include everyone? And that's my feelings on that, is that every time you do something, you've split people up into little groups. You haven't included everyone at all. But you can't tell them that. You can't tell them that because it's indoctrined into their brains to think like that. We just had one word for everyone, and that included everyone. And there was this row going on, and eventually I thought, I don't want this anymore. Don't want this anymore. And I came out of the group completely. So it's twice I've upset people on Facebook this week too. And you do wonder why, if you should perhaps look around for something else to do sometimes, you know, rather than that. Anyway, that's the story there. Amelia says she might be going to Centre Parks with her boyfriend. Oh, how lovely. For their anniversary. Oh, incidentally, Amelia, I saw your birthday cake today. Your lovely chocolate-looking birthday cake. Was it for your 21st or something like that? A little bit down on your Facebook. For some reason, just came up on my thing when I was seeing if I had any more nasty comments to read. All right. Anyway, that's where I am on that, you know. And you're frightened to say anything now, aren't you? Because of that. Rachel says some people just some people just don't have a sense of humour nowadays. And that's all it was. Just a little funny joke. No, they crucified me on there. Then again, it was a BBC presenter. And you know they're all a bit, you know, bland and boring, really. They just see offence in everything, don't they? You've even got like these little messages coming up now before some of the old programmes. We'll wait for the one for Dad's Army. I'm surprised that hasn't been on there yet. Is that still on BBC Two? I used to love Dad's Army, didn't you? Did you love Dad's Army? Mike in Brighton says, why not change the LGB term to humans? I think you're quite right. He also says, at least it was only one Gemma Collins and not two fat Gemma Collinses. 88 bingo. Mike. Adrian says LGBTs, what is that? Obby, PPM, CAFTS. This is a new one, is it? And Tony King says, Chris, the problem is everyone wants to be offended by everything. So keep offending them, I say. Yeah. You know, if it had been my original post, I probably would have just left it. But because it was on someone else's wall, I felt a bit guilty that, I've just upset someone on their wall. Anyway, it's done now, and that's just how it is, isn't it? That was your 21st birthday. It's a lovely chocolate cake, that is, Amelia. Really nice there. All right, now what else have we got on the show today? Funeral flowers. Here's one. Funeral flowers. What's it like picking those funeral flowers? Because there could be a hidden meaning. Have you ever had to choose flowers for someone's funeral? Did you just go with whatever, or did you have a sort of specific thing? I wanted to do white lilies for my mother's funeral. I can't remember father's funeral, except to say that, and I'm sorry, fellas, if it's not your team. Queen's Park Rangers he supported, my father. And my mother had a ball made out of flowers in the Queen's Park Rangers colours. Ever so pretty it was. Ever so nice. But in the Daily Mirror, it says there's lots to consider when planning a funeral, and each element can say something personal about your loved one. But when it comes to flowers, there are hidden meanings that many of us don't know about. To bury anyone, sort of anyone really at any point. What flowers did you have? And was there a meaning behind them? Did you have a meaning behind choosing those particular flowers? Red roses. Here's the meaning that they're saying in the Daily Mirror. Red roses. Roses are very popular, but their hidden meaning differs depending on the colour. And red is believed to symbolise grief and sorrow. Now, I must admit, when I decided on white lilies for my mother's, I wanted lilies, but something told me that pink wouldn't have been her choice. I'm not sure she liked the colour pink too much. Her favourite colour was green, my mother. And I bought her this, it's only a little thing, a little green emerald thing when I was in Florida once, back for a chain thing. And when she died, I lost the emerald somewhere, so I had that repaired. Because it was my mother's, had it repaired. But it says here, roses are very popular, but their hidden meaning differs depending on the colour. Red is believed to symbolise grief and sorrow. That makes them ideal tributes from partners or close family members. Or pink roses. Dark pink roses represent grace and gratitude. Yellow roses symbolise strong friendship and so are a good choice for friends. Gladioli. Don't think I've seen gladioli at funerals, but it says gladioli are used to convey strength of character and moral integrity. Lilies. Now, this is what I got my mum. I got my mum white lilies. I didn't know any of this at the time, so let's see what it says. A white lily is a classic funeral bloom. And in flower symbolism, white lilies means majesty, purity, and a return to innocence. And that would be my mother. Pure and innocent. Absolutely. One of the things I did as a young man, yeah, we said this so many times. You've when you do things as a younger person, not necessarily small, maybe in your 20s or 30s, you do things, and then your parents die, and they come back to haunt you, don't they? Well, they do me anyway. Time and time again. One of the things, when I say purity and innocence, one of the things I wish I'd never did was bring a girl home from work. Brought a girl home from work once. Never told them. Got up in the morning. Mum's doing the breakfast. She's got her back. Hello. She turned around. There's me and the girl. She took a step back. Shocked. I shouldn't have done that. Really shouldn't have done that. Very, very disrespectful. Or it was then. I don't know about now. Really disrespectful to do something like that. But it's gone now. You can't do anything about it. Mother was very innocent and very pure. It goes on to say peace lily plants represent peace, harmony and rebirth. They're often sent as gifts to the family of the deceased as a reminder that their memory will live on. And of course, if you've lost someone, they do live on in your head. Don't they? They really do live on. Carnations, I think I had some carnations in there as well to give out to people. Because what I did was get a big box of flowers on Mum's funeral day, and I handed out the flowers to everyone. And when it came to time for them to throw them onto the coffin after it was laid into the ground, carnations, I think, was one of them's on there. Carnations typically stand for love, admiration and remembrance, making them as appropriate choice for many funeral goers. Maybe you want to talk about your flowers or something like that. Don't forget the phone line's open, 020 8144 3477. Red chrysanthemums, red ones, they represent trust, friendship and loyalty. But like roses, the hidden meaning changes according to their colour, with red meaning love. Now, chrysanthemums and carnations often, actually, when I go down to the grave, which hasn't been very often recently due to the lockdown, I tend to go 3 times a year. On just before Christmas, on my birthday, around my birthday, 4 times. On my mother's birthday and on my mother's anniversary of death date. They're the 4 times I go. Dad's in the same plot as well, yeah. And I tend to buy chrysanthemums and carnations because there's an Asda right next to it. So when I go, I go into the Asda first, do a little bit of shopping, get some flowers, and usually it's carnations and chrysanthemums. White chrysanthemums, the meaning of these is the same as above, but white is for innocence. Chrysanthemums are also called mums for short, so often appear in funeral tributes for mothers. So different meanings of different flowers there. I mean, you know, it's interesting to find that out. I never would have thought there'd be a story behind the particular type of flower that you would select, perhaps, to take a funeral, would it there? Okay, Ollie. Oh, Ollie's sent in a bike pic. Let's have a little look there. Ollie's sent in a picture of his bike. Oh, I haven't got that yet, Ollie. That's not over. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, you've got an SMS there. Let's have a look. Let's just clear some of those out. Perhaps I'm getting mixed up there. Just a minute now. Let's, There's a nice little show tonight, isn't it, eh? Nice little chat together we're having here. No, I haven't got an email you from you there, Ollie, of your... There's no email from you there. Nothing. Are you using the right email? Yeah, it is. Let me put that up again. Have you sent it there? Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. There's no email from you there at the moment, Ollie. All right. Mike says, lose the guilt of when your mum caught you doing the walk of shame with the girl. Well, I brought her into the kitchen for breakfast. Oh, God. Awful. Mike said, had it been Gemma Collins, well, that's a different story. White lilies are traditional and the most popular choice. Are they? I didn't even know that at the time, and that's just what I thought would be the right thing. Fran says, my mother-in-law loved carnations and roses, so we always take them to the cemetery. I feel great peace at the cemetery, don't you? I just sit there next to the grave talking. Couple of prayers and bits and pieces. Sometimes I'm only there for 5 minutes. You know, it's an hour there, hour and a quarter there, hour and a quarter back or so. I might only be there for 5 minutes. I tidy it up a little bit. It really needs I think it needs a change of earth now. It's all like full of roots and all that business. I might get some more hardy plants, really, actually. Because what tends to happen is it gets done up around my birthday with stuff. The frost quickly kills that off. Then I do it up again in August, and whatever I put in completely dries up and dies. And then it's November, and it gets frozen to death, you know, so I don't know. Perhaps I should look that up, you know, plants for graves. Needs to be something that's fairly hardy and drought resistant, perhaps, you know, something like that. Let's see if Ollie's emails come through. No email from you there, Ollie, at all, I'm afraid, of your little bike there. Perhaps, I don't know why that's not come through there, Ollie. We want to see what colour his bike is. I might actually be able to take a photo of it and then show that to people. Might be an idea. Clarissa says, can't remember what I got my dad. My mind has blocked it out. Guess I still can't get over losing him. It's quite possible, Clarissa. It's not an easy thing losing your parent, is it, my love? All right. Okie doke, we move on. Do you nap? Do you nap? Because I do. I've been doing it for years. Going to sleep for a couple of hours in the afternoon. Well, scientists reckon it's in your DNA. Who naps? How long for? Hour, 2 hours, half hour? I had an early one today. I cut my hair, you may have noticed. Cut me hair. Always after I cut my hair, I have a shower. I can't bear the little hairs. Oh, can't bear it. Hate it. Making it all itchy, doesn't it? Goes down your neck. Oh, it's horrible. No, as soon as I've cut my hair, I have to have a shower. So I had a shower. Got to about 3:10, and I thought I'll have a sleep now. I went to bed and woke up quite early today, about 4:45 actually. I was up and about again. But I've been having that nap for years. Since do you know what? I think it was since since I started working. I always remember coming home, having dinner, or perhaps having a little sleep and then getting up and having dinner. I can't remember now exactly. Was at Mum's house. In the Daily Mail, it says needing to rest your eyes for a daytime snooze could be more than just exhaustion, according to a new study that found the need to nap may be in your DNA. It's not you just being lazy. I also think if you've been doing it for a while, it's extremely difficult to get out of. I've tried to get out of it. It's so hard. It's so hard. Fortunately, the family understand that now. You know, my nephew and that, and my niece, they know that Uncle Chris has to go to bed for about 3 or 4 o'clock for a couple of hours. Otherwise, I literally fall apart. I become grumpy, even more than normal. I start upsetting people, even more than normal. I get fed up, even more than normal. Do you do that? Have a little sleep in the afternoon? I've been trying to go to bed earlier. With limited success, really. Sometimes I can go to bed at 11:30. Other times it's like 1:30, you know. Just don't know, really. It says researchers have worked with data, and there's 123 regions within the human genome linked to daytime napping. And the authors say this shows that the need to nap is biologically driven, not environmental. It not necessarily mean that you're a bit tired. I get tired at about 2 to 3 o'clock. I start, I feel a little bit tired. And I know when to go to bed. I don't look at the clock. Oh, it's 3 o'clock. I need to go to bed. I simply go. I get tired. Does that happen to you? And how long have you been doing that? How long have you been sleeping like that? You want to call in 020 8144 3477. It says the regions linked to napping were more prominent in those volunteers who claimed to regularly take a nap during the day. So that would be me, you see? These regions in your head. Understanding the genetic markers for daytime napping could help doctors develop personalised recommendations for when to sleep, says a study author. Now, he's there now. Look at this. Alan Ross. I was hoping you were going to comment on this. Alan says, I usually have a nap, usually lasting for about an hour, sometimes 2, at about 3 o'clock. You're the same as me, Alan. Mine tends to be 1.5 to 2 hours. So a little bit longer for me. But Alan is a night person. He used to work nights. He's done, I think, underground trains. I think if I remember rightly, you telling me. But he's on Reach on Air. He does. Are you doing 3 hours now or 2? I can't remember. He does midnight till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. He likes to be up at that time. That's normal for him. It's funny actually sometimes, Alan. Yeah, like this thing I've been doing now for 15 years, nearly 15 years. This thing and the Reach thing, and sometimes I think, well, what did I used to do before this? Do you know what I mean? What got me out of bed in the morning before I used to do this? And of course, at that time, I was working. You know, so I'd be coming to bed. I'd get in from work 3:30 in the morning, going to bed. Then I'd get up at about 10 or 11, go to swimming after breakfast at 12, have lunch quite close to breakfast. That swimming and breakfast and lunch used to be really close together, funnily enough, like sort of 10 and 1 or 10 and 2. Then I'd have a sleep in the afternoon, get up again and go back to work. That used to be my day. And then when I came away from the DJing and went just into karaoke, the times were different. There was no more of this. I mean, there were some mornings, on a Saturday morning, I'd go to bed at like 7:30 a.m. By the time I got back from a job in Brighton, usual time going to sleep would have been about 4 or 5 in the morning. That was perfectly normal to me. So if you go to bed at that time, you're not getting up till 10, 11 o'clock. It was all work. Everything was work for me. I was a worker always. Can't be sitting there doing nothing, wasting my life away. And I had a great time. But that nap was so important to me. And I don't suppose I'll ever get out of that now. My niece says to me, "Oh, you can do it if you try," and I've tried, believe me, and I get so ratty. Please, just let me go to sleep for 2 hours, and I'll be back to normal. You know. Ollie says, "Don't let Chris loose on Facebook when he hasn't had a nap." You're probably right there, Ollie. Let me see if your email hasn't come in, you know, of your bike. I don't know why that is. I'm getting your text messages, but not your email there. Oh, what have we got here? Oh, here we go again. Another YouTube policy update. Oh, Christ. Every week they're coming through now. They keep changing the rules on here. Mike in Brighton says, "My perfect time for sleeping is after 4 a.m. onwards." So he's still up till late. He never naps. I find if I nap on very rare occasion, when I wake, I'm like a bear with a sore head. You'd like to be a bear, wouldn't you, my love? Put on a bit of weight and grow a few hairs out your chest. In Spain, the nap or siesta is to avoid the hot weather. I like my 6 to 8 hours straight night, day or night, depending on my work shift. Well, I kind of split my sleep, don't I? You know, when you think about it. If I go to bed tonight, probably be about midnight tonight, because I can't go straight to bed after doing a show. No way, that just wouldn't work. I'll probably go to bed about 12. I'll get to sleep about 1 by the time I finish watching the telly. In bed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's about 6 hours there and 2 hours in the afternoon, which makes 8. That does make 8, doesn't it? Just the way it is. Alan Ross, still midnight to 2 a.m. I'll be extending to 3 a.m. from the 14th of March, as long as there's no objections. What? Who's going to object to you taking 2 till 3? Why don't you just take it now? Are you not sort of G'd up for it yet, maybe? I don't know. I would like to do 2 hours. I'd like to do 8 till 10, really. Someone said you should just ask for it. They might give it to you. But, you know, there's so many people wanting slots on there. I'd feel guilty. You know, so I just stick to my 9 o'clock one and that's good enough, 9 till 10. And maybe the 8 o'clock will come up at some point. I don't know. It's funny, actually, looking back to November when I started on Reach On Air, that 8 o'clock was actually free. There wasn't really anyone doing that 8 o'clock. And then I started doing the, it was all over the place when I started. Then I requested 10 o'clock, which I eventually got. And then someone dropped the 9 o'clock one. It was, who was it now? Is it Swish? Dropped the 9 o'clock. And I saw him drop it. He didn't want to do it anymore. He had business. So I quickly asked for it. And they said, yeah, you can have that one. So that was fine. That kind of worked out all right. I would like to do 8 till 10, really. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, I can't see anyone objecting to that, surely. You and Brandon are the only live nighttime people, aren't you? From what I remember. So Alan says I'll be extended to 3 from the 14th of March, as long as there are no objections. He's always worked late or nights, so my body clock just adjusted to it, and I cannot readjust back to normal hours, no matter how hard I try. I mean, I honestly, I can stay up. I can now go to bed a little bit earlier than I used to. I used to be terrible. When I used to go up to my sister's house before I had the caravan at Christmas, well, of course they'd all go to bed at 11. In fact, my sister's often in bed at 9 o'clock. I wouldn't be surprised if the pair of them are now in bed and one of them's watching this. They go to bed. She's been in bed at 8:30 before. Well, of course, I'd go up there, not so much at Christmas. They'd go to bed at 11 o'clock. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'd have to go out for a late night walk at 11 o'clock at night. And I used to walk miles because it wasn't my bedtime. My normal bedtime was 2 or 3 in the morning. You couldn't get to sleep. A couple of times, my younger nephew, he would have been 10 at the time. He used to like coming out on a late night walk as well. It was fantastic. He would be me and him walking. And I'd explain to him all the stars, or my little knowledge of the stars. I'd be talking to him about. That's the plough over there, and you can see that there. That's a man's belt there. Can't remember what it's called, and all that. And I'd be telling him that he needed to start saving money up for a house at 10 years old. Then when he gets older, it'd be a lot easier. But he didn't. I don't think he did. Happy days, eh? Happy days. Mark Bowles says you're a very giving man. Well, I hope you are at some point, Mark. Give something to me, my darling. Thank you. Ollie said he's sent an email again. There's nothing coming here, Ollie. I'm just not getting... Oh, hang on. No. No, I'm not getting your emails, Ollie. Isn't that strange? Is it working? Let me just try and send myself an email. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Test. Send. I send that, see if that gets to me. Give that a little while for it to come. Come on, where's my email? Or is it not working? Oh, there it is. Test. Steve, they're getting through from me. Why am I not getting Ollie's email? Are you sure you're typing that in correctly, my darling? Shall I give you another email address? Do you want to try another one? It's quite easy. Chris at chrisreardon.co.uk. Try that one. Chris at chrisreardon.co.uk. See if that'll work for you, Ollie. All right. I just wonder, is it a very large picture you're sending? I wonder if that affects it at all. I'm not very good at computers. Yeah, it looks like you sent me the correct one there. Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Okay, let's just try that. Copy email address. Send. This will probably come up as my Gmail address, actually. I'll just type Chris on there, all right? So you know that's me. Reply to that with a picture of your bike. You better not be on the bike because people might not like you to send me pictures of yourself on your bike. Just the bike itself, all right, Ollie? I will have a look at that. Thank you. Rachel, did you see the comet last night? No, I didn't. I saw it on the news. A big comet went over last night, didn't I? I saw a big comet once. Years ago. It was Christmas night. And we lived in Roehampton. And we lived... there were two houses. It was a masonette, one on top of the other. So it was downstairs, up, down. And it was us, up, down. Or down, up, down. Up, down. All right? So we're on the top. And I'm standing... It was like a long balcony of other people's houses, you know, all together. Christmas night, I'm standing there on the balcony looking across these houses, and suddenly this really bright star went right across the sky like that. I'll never forget that. Christmas night it was. Funny, isn't it? George says he started his walk again, and I've stopped for a little while and I get backaches always through to my legs. It might be your weight, George. You need to lose a little bit of weight, mate, if it's hurting your legs. I've had that. I mean that in a nasty way. You know, if you're carrying a lot of weight, you're putting more strain on your legs and your knees. My very good friend Adam the plumber will tell you that. He was very big at one point and he had terrible problems with his knees. He lost the weight and his knees stopped hurting. So that might be something to do with that there. All right, now let's see if this... emails come through. Hello to Jason Hughes. Evening. Oh, thank you, Jason. Jason's testing out the email as well there. Aren't you, Jason? Thank you. I haven't got Ollie's... we want to see what his bike looks like, don't we? Never mind. Perhaps it'll come later. See if it comes in a minute or two. Good. What else have we got on the show tonight? Look, it's 2 minutes to 10, isn't it? We are getting quite... late. Rishi's on the telly this week. You know the bloke who's in charge of the money. I'm very surprised he's agreed to do this, but good luck to him. I quite like Rishi Sunak. I think he's great with the old money. Seems to know what he's doing, don't he, old Rishi? And he's got something that's likeable about him. Sometimes you see a picture of him and his family there, which is quite nice. He's got a likeable factor, Rishi Sunak. I think he really has. But you know, he's got to get the money back somehow. We've borrowed so much money. I mean, you cannot imagine the figures in your head. And people have been happily accepting all this money, haven't they? Eh? Well, it's got to be paid back. At some point, over years, it's got to be paid back. Trillions of pounds they've borrowed. All got to be paid back. How's he going to do it? Don't know yet. Don't know because the budget's on Wednesday. But on Thursday, here's one for your diaries, and you'll be able to watch it because there's no show on. How lucky are you? On Thursday, the money-saving expert, Martin Lewis, issued a plea to the Chancellor last week, Rishi Sunak, urging him to address the nation's finances as unemployment hits 1.74 million people across the UK. I'm one of them. I haven't worked since last March. And do you know what? Oh, excuse me, burping. Do you know what? I feel really guilty not working. It's not my fault. What I do doesn't exist at the moment, and I don't know if it's coming back. I have thought perhaps I need to look at another thing and something else. My mate, in all seriousness, he said, well, you enjoy litter picking, don't you? And I do. I feel a great sense of achievement after I've filled up a bag of rubbish and chucked it away, only to have someone throw it back down on the floor again. Or driving. I suppose I could do a little bit of driving or something like that. Perhaps delivery driver. I don't think I'd want to do the Amazon or the Deliveroo. That all seems a little bit complicated to me. I just want to turn up at somewhere at 9 o'clock and perhaps go home at 3 o'clock after driving maybe cars to people's houses or something like that. I don't know. At 58, is that too learn? I mean, I don't think I'd want to drive a bus. Only because you have to deal with passengers. Oh, can you just imagine? You haven't paid your fare. Oh, and the arguments and people spitting and all that business, isn't it? I don't know. I really don't know. I just feel incredibly guilty not working. Of course, if I was working, I wouldn't be able to do half of what I'm doing here, I suppose. You can't win. There's no job for me in radio or television. I'm telling you that now. That became obvious after the messages I got earlier today. And it did take me down. It did depress me. After I lightened up at my mate's house, he managed to lighten me up a bit. I said, well, I suppose that's a job at the BBC out of the question now. Oh, come on. You know I know where to stop. This is my show. I can do anything I like on air. Have you ever heard me say anything like that on Reach on air? Probably not. But people just get so offended, don't they? Anyway, back to this in the Daily Mirror. Rishi Sunak will join Martin Lewis on The Money Show on ITV the day after he delivers the biggest financial budget since the COVID crisis emerged. It goes on, the 2021 budget will feature everything from housing to universal credit, tax, pensions and unemployment. And it will address whether the £20 universal credit uplift described as a lifeline for up to 6 million people will also be extended. And, you know, I think I'd be right in saying that most people on here, I don't think there's anyone rich here. I'm certainly not rich. Not rich at all. I don't have anyone to pay out for here, okay? Which gives me perhaps more money than you if you've got a family or something. But I don't think there's certainly no one rich sitting here now. And I don't think there's anyone who would consider them rich watching this programme at the moment. Some of you might think, well, I'm okay. Some of you might think, well, I'm a little bit better than most. Some of you on there, probably watching this now, that £20 universal credit uplift thing is an absolute lifeline for you. I know that. You haven't got to tell me that. There's probably one or two of you who, dare I say, go to food banks. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Or even if you don't do that, you go in that supermarket late at night. You know the times to come when they reduce everything. That £1 pot of yoghurt is now 5 pence. That's, you know when to go in. I know that. So I know also how important that extra 20 quid has been to you. It made a difference to turning the heating on or something like that, did it? I was quite shocked at my heating and electric bill this month. 95 quid 45 for electric, roughly 45 for electric and 45 for gas. That's because it's been so cold, you see. That's why. Last Thursday on the ITV show, Martin Lewis challenged the Chancellor Rishi Sunak to join him live on air, launching a Rishi Come Talk to Martin Twitter campaign, and he's agreed. He's going to be on there, Rishi. So good luck with that one. Look forward to seeing that. I'll be watching that, and that is on Thursday, ITV. Does it say the time there? Don't actually say the time. The story then goes into the budget and all that business going on there. New mortgages, 95% mortgages, stamp duty, our goals, cigarette prices. Will they go up again? Self-employed extension. You see, the self-employed thing, I didn't get any money on that. And the reason I didn't get any money is because I'm a landlord and I get rent in. That's the only reason for that. It's not massive. You should have seen some of the bills I've had this month. There we are. Thank you to Alan, who says, is this email going into your spam folder? No, it's not. I've got it. See, I've got your email, Alan. I am not getting Ollie's emails at all. Not even on that other one, Ollie. That other email I just sent you. Strange, isn't it? I can only think that the photo's a little bit too big. Do you know how to make it smaller? It may be that perhaps your dad can help you. JK can help you with that one, I'm sure. All right, so we look forward to watching Rishi on the Martin Lewis programme on Thursday there. Mike in Brighton. Often a large file or photo can take a while to send, receive. 5 or 10 minutes, maybe. That is a long time. Maybe it'll come when we finish the show, Ollie. I don't know. Clarissa, do a James Corden and do a karaoke taxi. Well, I was going to do that once, actually. But there was quite a lot involved in it. And I did... A few years ago, you may remember, I actually lined up a couple of people to do this. But I didn't do it in the end. Just never got around to it, really. All right. Okay. E-cigarettes. Anyone smoke those? Now, when they first came along, they were like hailed, weren't they? It's like as a godsend, help people give up smoking. They were supposed to be better than smoking, but I was always a little bit sort of thinking about this. You know, we're not supposed to be smoking anything, are we? Whether it's a cigarette or one of those vaping things. All sorts of weird and wonderful smells on those, aren't they? A lot of the pubs, even the pubs, have stopped people smoking or vaping in pubs now because of the smell. Some of the smells are quite nice. Vanilla, blueberries, strawberries. And, you know, it's funny. There was a bloke, and they create so much smoke. There's a very good friend of mine, Paul. He's a London Underground driver, or he was. I think he had a stroke or a heart attack. Lovely chap he was, Paul. And he smoked this thing. You'd come into this pub smoking this. And for a moment, you thought, oh, that's a strawberry smell. That's quite nice, you'd think to yourself. But then you realise the smell was just there the entire night, and it was just too much. Sickly, horrible smell. Well, they're going to stop them, I think. It says in The Sun, when America was scrambling to crack down on vaping, the UK embraced electronic cigarettes as a powerful tool to help smokers quit. And you know, there's these little shops all over the place, vaping shops. They're everywhere, even in airports. But what's the state of play now? Is there a move to kick British e-cigarette habit? It says e-cigarettes are not being banned in the UK, but the government are going to review the tobacco and related products regulations which govern nicotine vaping products. This means looking at all vaping and other nicotine and tobacco regulations to ensure they're appropriate and help smokers quit, while managing the risk of uptake for never smokers who vape despite never puffing on a cigarette. And we've seen those, a lot of the youngsters did. They'd never smoked, but they started vaping. And that was not why vaping came out. Of course, from the manufacturer's point of view, all they're interested is selling you the stuff. Don't care who it's to. It says non-nicotine vaping products are less strictly regulated than nicotine-containing products and may also need to be reviewed. But see, you're smoking something or breathing in something that perhaps you're not supposed to. I'm sure I've seen stories of various lung conditions that have been linked to vaping in the past there. Hello to Michael Pullman. Michael's just emailed in, so the emails are coming in. Emails are coming. Michael's there. Hope you're well. Just getting ready for work this morning. Good morning to you, Michael. Must be weird to you, Michael, really, you know, because you used to be here at night time and now we're there in the morning for you, aren't we? Eh? Anyway, that's the vaping story. Do any of you vape at all or do that stuff? What's the flavour of your stuff? Have you got the vanilla one? The vanilla one was the blueberry one's very nice. We like the blueberries. Can I just ask you, if you're going to disappear or even now, can you just do a little thumbs up for me on the YouTube thing? That helps with the YouTube algorithms. Little thumbs up, please, my darlings, all right? Thanks very much, those of you that are doing that. What was the other email? chris@chrisreardon.co.uk. Try that one, Ollie. Quickly now, because I'm going to finish soon, all right? chris@chrisreardon.co.uk. chris@chrisreardon.co.uk. Try that one. That's the one I usually use when I'm on Reach, isn't it? All right. We're going to do one more story. Here it is. Daily Mirror, this one. Now, we did a similar story the other week. A man cooked his steaks. Do you remember how he did it? This one does the same thing. Daily Mirror. A chef says he has discovered the secrets to a perfectly cooked steak. Do you like a steak? When I used to eat dead animals, which is a long time ago now, someone's asking me last night, how long have you been vegetarian? About 7 years. About 7 years now. Do I miss it? No, not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. I've seen videos that will make you cry. Abattoir type things on YouTube. Have a watch. Go on, I dare ya. Or you're going to stick your head in the sand. Oh, don't want to know. Don't want to know. Just carry on. Don't worry about that animal suffering. Anyway, a chef says he's discovered the secret to a perfectly cooked steak. Now, when I was eating dead animals, I liked it well done. Literally black. Black. Not quite crispy, but black. Tomato sauce. Harvester. Chips. Peas. Steak with tomato sauce all over it. Yes. Then I saw the light. Just give me the light. Just give me the light. Just give me the light. His method is slightly unconventional. Craig, who's 33, saw a video of online someone cooking a steak in a toaster. Do you remember? Told you about that sometime last year, wasn't it? August? So he decided to put it to the test himself. The owner of the George Pub and Grill in Stockton-on-Tees, Durham, purchased a cheap toaster and threw some different cuts of steak in to see how they turned out. Well, he seasoned the steak as he usually would and then put it in the toaster for a few minutes until it came out medium rare. So it's a bit red in the middle. I couldn't have none of that. Oh no. It can't look possibly like it's been bleeding, although of course it has when it's had its head cut off. Craig was in for a shock when he tried it. He claimed it tasted just as good as it normally would if he had fried it. Stunned by the results, he shared a picture of it on the pub's Facebook page and customers couldn't believe how he'd achieved it. However, he did warn them not to try it at home. Craig said, I'd seen it online and thought there's no way you can cook a steak in a toaster. So I had to try it out for myself because I know how to cook a good steak. I played around with the settings on the side and the first one popped up too rare, so I put it down for a second time, but then we overcooked it. It was trial and error, but when we put the third steak down, it came out medium rare. It was pink in the middle, but well done on the outside. It tasted really nice and was red hot. If someone doesn't know how to cook steak, just whack it in the toaster. Oh no. You see, it's all well and good, and maybe putting steak in a toaster does work. How the hell do you clean the toaster? You can't clean it, can you? I mean, you might have a try. For Christ's sake, unplug the thing first. You can't really clean that, can you? I mean, when you do a steak on the grill, at least you can take the grill out and soak the thing in some water or in the dishwasher. Often I find actually with the grill, you know, the grill thing, and you take it out, put it in the oven, you know, the metal like a grid thing, isn't it? Sometimes it doesn't quite do it and you have to give it a little bit of a rub afterwards, don't you, under a tap, and it just comes off. Well, how can you do that with the toaster? You can't exactly put the toaster in the dishwasher, can you? See, it wouldn't be very clean, would it? Rachel says, my dead animal has to be medium rare, brown outside, juicy and red inside. Oh, a little bit like myself, Rachel, if you don't mind me saying so. Brown, I'm not quite white, am I? You see, I've got like a permanent sort of... No, it's not. It's not fake. My mate was saying you look like you got a black eye. Where is it? Here, see? Now, I'll tell you what that is, right? When I lose weight, this happens. Can you see that? It's gone like that. Can you see that there? That there? Or where is it? That there? There it is. Oh, what are you doing? There. Look. It's not a mark. Look. Do you remember your mum doing that? So, come here, you've got a bit of dirt on your front. Remember your mum doing that? No, it's the weight loss. It's kind of sunk in a bit. Mike tried vaping, but it just wasn't the same. I had bubblegum flavour. Bazooka Joe. Remember that? The Bazooka Joe bubblegums. I never stopped. Hotel guests using them as smoke is nothing more than water vapour. The smell did linger. Yeah, the smell hangs around for ages. That's right. Often people ask me, what air fresheners were you using? The main advantage is also the lack of chemical, but there are chemicals in the vapes which must have some nasties attached. Oh, they've got to, haven't they? They've got to. Good night to Amelia. She's off to bed. Clarissa can't vape as it kills her throat. Hurts her throat, you see. And Rachel, my teeth are too weak to eat it tough. Plus I have two false front teeth. Oh, you don't want to break yours. Cost you a fortune down a dentist to have those fixed, my love. Eh? I've got to go dentist. I haven't been for a year. Terrible, isn't it? I was frightened about the coronavirus. I'll give it another couple of weeks, and then it'll be 4 weeks since my first vaccine, and I might make a booking then. I feel a little bit happier with going out. You mustn't drop your guard, though, you know what I mean? Still wear them masks. And Paul in Cornwall says steak in a toaster is very good. He does it. And cooking pizza on an iron and put eggs in the kettle. I've been there and done it. Have you done all those things? Oh, you are strange, Paul. When are you back on Reach on Air? He's done eggs in the kettle. Was you at a scout camp or something like that? Oh dear. Let's have a look. Still no email from you, Ollie, I'm afraid. So if you've used that other one, it's just not happening, mate. I've checked all the folders. Good night to Sherry and John there. Good night, Sherry and John. Let's check these other folders. You're not in spam or anywhere else. It's just not there. Isn't that weird? Oh, well. Okay, gang, we're going to finish there. Thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight. Our next chat show here on United Kingdom Talk will be Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on this channel. Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on this channel. Now, Alan, who's been with us sending the occasional message through tonight, he'll be with you at midnight on Reach on Air between 12 and 2 o'clock. And if you go on there, send him a message. Send him a message while you're there. I often drift off. I do have him on. I don't always send a message on because that means I've got to fire up my phone. And if I've got the smart speaker on, I might have turned the phone off already. But he'll be there where I am tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. He will be on there between midnight and 2 a.m. in the morning. Okay. Now, Sparky, he's got his own little poster now. There he is. Okay. That's DJ Sparky. He will be back on Reach on Air on the 3rd of March. So that's Monday, Tuesday. That's Wednesday at 6 p.m. There you go. 6 p.m. so you can listen to him And then 2 hours later, join us for this thing. No need for mainstream telly. Not long now before you can cancel your TV licence and just watch all of our programmes and listen to everything we're giving you for nothing. No licence required. Come on, be honest. Who would pay a licence to watch this crap? Exactly. Fran, my dead animal, has to be cooked to death. No vet can get its heartbeat going. What did they do with all those bits? Hearts and lungs and kidneys. Oh, it's awful. You know, one of the videos I've watched is it's just awful. There's a bit where they hang it up and they go whoosh, and all these bits drop out. Oh, it's awful. Kills me to death, it really does. Thank you, Fran. Mike in Brighton, boiling eggs. Let's have a look here. Where's my music there? Boiling eggs and cooking frankfurters in a kettle is a hotel manager's biggest hate. Do people do that then in your hotel? Cook stuff in the hotel kettles. Oh, gosh. Well, I told you where Alan is tonight. 12 o'clock, join Alan for his Reach On Air show at midnight, between midnight and 2. I'll be there tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, 9 till 10, for an hour of music and chat. And a word missing there is fun. Lots of fun with me in the morning as well. We do have a little bit of a laugh, all right? Thanks for joining us, gang. I'll see you again for another chat show on Wednesday night on this channel at 8 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. Thanks for watching and listening. Good night now.